What's up everybody, GARDNSOUND here, Lyle the Bird. Got a new camera set up. It's a bit further away and I'm using a different lens, so the shot might look a bit tighter, a bit cleaner, but it might look a bit different. Also, the audio is going to sound totally different, hopefully better. I'm now using the Zoom H5 to record all of my audio. I'm pulling it off of that device with the shotgun mic. I'm also wearing a hat, which looks kind of funny. Anyway, welcome to GARDNSOUND 365, the show where we write music every day for a year. Now, if you are watching the 365 series and you hit this video, I'm gonna let you know right now, this is not the original video that was here. The original video that was here has been taken down and moved. This is a replacement video. The reason this video has been replaced is that I don't like it anymore. I don't like the first video. I don't like its message. I don't like the way it makes me look. Uploading videos every day gives me a very interesting chance to do something that most people don't get to do in everyday life. I get to do things over if I want to. You ever had an embarrassing situation and you think to yourself, man, I wish I could go back and do that again? Well, that's what I'm doing. I uploaded a video called The Sad Truth About Being a Musician. And while some of the statements I made in that video are valid, the majority of things I said in that video were just visceral vitriol, just reactive, angry statements to a mood that I was in. And after some time has passed between then and now, I don't like that video anymore. I don't think it's a fair representation of how I act anymore. So I'm taking it down, and it's been moved. It's still on my channel. I have moved it to the bonus videos playlist, and I'm going to be replacing it with this video in the 365 series. So yesterday's video and tomorrow's video in the 365 series are fine. They're the way they were. But this video is special. If you want to go watch it, go ahead. But please understand before you watch it that that's not a fair representation of how I feel anymore. I don't feel as entitled as I did in that video. It was a very entitled perspective. It was a perspective that feels like it deserves something more than it really does. The only way to get ahead in the music industry is to have discipline, stay determined, and have a hard work perspective. Because it's a lot of hard work. It's not impossible, like I thought. It's not only reserved for the wealthy. It's not only reserved for the lucky, although I can and still do argue that some people do just get lucky. That's its own thing. The majority of people who make it in the music industry are just very determined people. They wake up early, they try to do something every day. They're very driven people. That's just the type of person who makes it. The sad truth about being a musician, the real sad truth about being a musician, is the lack of information that is out there to help us. That's the real sad truth. The real sad truth about being a musician is that music is undervalued. And this is not an argument. I'm not looking for people to rebut me in the comments, although I'm sure there will. I'm not going to read them. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. I'm not going to read the comments in this video. That they're just going to be full of people either saying, hey, you took down a video, you're a pussy. Or, hey, you're wishy-washy. Or, hey, I disagree with what you said, so I'm just not going to read it. At the end of the day, this is my show. I get to do whatever I want with this show. This is my camera. That's my microphone. This is my pet bird. This is my show. I own this. Yeah, the real problem with the music industry today is that music is undervalued. What I mean by undervalued is that musical services are undervalued. I've kind of written something that I want to read to you because sometimes my words work better when I read them after thinking about them carefully and writing them down. So I'm going to read to you a post that I made that I believe articulates the frustration that I feel with the undervalued composer, the undervalued music maker. This is a post I made in a forum that is dedicated to filmmaking. Someone had asked the question, what is the cheapest amount of money I can get away with paying a composer to compose a score for my film. And this was my response, and I believe this articulates well my frustration. Hi, I'm a composer. I really thought about this response because it's something I've been coming to terms with over the past few years. I would appreciate it if you would consider my words with care and thoughtfulness. I've been composing music for 12 years, but I've been studying music my whole life. I began writing music out of a need to get the musical ideas out of my head and onto another medium where I could never worry about losing them, and rid myself of that anxiety and free my brain up to do other things. I hear music out of nowhere. I 100% hallucinate noises and sounds. Some of them are musical. And I obsess over them if I don't get them on paper. I love them. They're my babies. They're my thoughts making sense to and of the world. I learned how to write music on paper several years later. I began writing on the computer. Now I exclusively write music on the computer with synthesizers and real instruments. It's much easier than writing by hand. If I make a mistake, I can just press backspace. No inking, no erasing, no correcting. I love what technology has brought my art. The advent of digital music has completely changed my industry as much as the DSLR camera changed the film industry. And it has cheapened my craft and my art form as much as the filmmakers. As computers became faster, smaller, cheaper, and more available, it became easier for the consumer/prosumer to be able to imitate a composer's craft. Bless you. This is not a complaint, because with the digital music revolution came greater accessibility and ease of entry. I would not be the same composer and songwriter that I am today without the awesome digital processing that we've achieved. I would not even write the same music. I love synth sounds, the way that I can easily record any instrument into my computer, and how I can blast my tunes to the entire internet from the comfort of my basement. Far too much to complain about the progression of technology. However, it takes hours for me to craft songs and scores to the perfection that I would demand. I would estimate that a formal score for a film, a formal score, takes between 200 and 500 hours to complete. So between 5 and 12 weeks of work full time. Paying someone minimum wage, which in the United States is unfortunately $7.25 an hour, to work for 5 weeks, the minimum amount of time to make a score, is $1,450. I want to eat just as much as the next guy. This is the correct, cheapest answer. You pay the composer minimum wage until the piece is finished. That was a hard pill for some people to swallow. I received a lot of pushback on, oh, well, what if the budget doesn't match that much? And then the answer would be, well, if the budget doesn't match that much, we'll find out how much the budget is, and we will tailor it, to what you can afford. If you can afford $500, I'll provide you with a $500 score, which isn't going to be as high quality as if I worked on it full-time for 5 weeks, but you understand what I'm saying. It's not a matter of I deserve money. That's not the thought process. The thought process is, don't you want something high quality? That's where my thought process is. Shouldn't we want something that's higher quality? I'm trying to grow this audience and make a community of people who are there to provide greater accessibility, to show people the ropes, because this is the kind of thing I didn't have when I was younger. I didn't have any of this. I didn't have any of these resources. Facebook wasn't a thing. Like, you gotta understand, I'm coming from grassroots music writing, not knowing anything about the music industry, and that's where the frustration and entitlement comes from in that original video, and that's why I took it down, because that's not me anymore. Now I've got a community of people. We do coffee times every week. We talk about what music means to us. We share our top 5 best and worst tracks. We give each other criticism. We provide each other with advice. We provide each other with guidance. It's a community of people who give a shit about music. That is worth more to me than the money I thought, than the fame I thought, than the respect I thought I was entitled to and deserved. I don't deserve any of that. I don't deserve any of the cool fans that I have. I don't deserve any of the subscribers that I have, but I have them, and I am extremely grateful for them. If you're willing to stick around with me and hang in there, I promise you the rest of 365 that you're about to watch is going to be grand, good stuff, and hopefully I won't have to make any more of these videos. Hopefully I can keep my anger and my visceral, emotional reactions contained enough to continue to make videos like this. But yeah, thank you for watching. Again, if you'd like to watch the original, I'm gonna link it at the very end. But just a warning, that's not me anymore. But as always, my name is GARDNSOUND. This is Lila the bird. Oh, right, Lila. Lila's not in the rest of 365. I got her after 365 was closed. So if you're confused as to where's Lila for the rest of 365, again, this video right here has been uploaded like 3.5 months after 365 is already finished. So should I just end it here? Is this where I should end it? I'm just gonna end it here.